Battle of the Labyrinth, which does not have a battle for the labyrinth. It's just a battle at the end because of the labyrinth. Okay, you know, the title sounds cool.
Abuse. I won't give up or refuse. This is how it feels when you're bent and broken. This is how it feels when your dignity's stolen and everything you love is leaving. You hold on to what you believe in. Que no pare la fiesta. Don't stop the party.
So, just because the title is a little off, who cares? It's still an awesome book. This is, like, seriously, this has got to be, like, the coolest fourth book ever. And no offense to other books, but books that go on to 4 or 5, by book 4, I kind of want things to wrap up. But this one, I don't, because this one, it is awesome. It has everything I wanted from this, okay? It has everything. It was perfect. This book I could read so many times. Now, what I say it's perfect? Well, you want to see major character development for Nico? You got it. You want to see Percy deal with the trauma of having to deal with telling Nico that and feeling responsible for Nico? You got it. You want to see Annabeth leading a quest? You got it. You want to see Pan and that quest continue? You got it. You want to see Tyson come back? You got it. You want to see some Egyptian action in this book? You got it. Seriously, it has a little bit of everything. So let's go through what I like. Okay, I'm going to address, because you guys are all probably wondering, why did I just say Egyptian action? Seriously, like, it is Egyptian what Cronus did, taking Luke as a host. Yeah, now that I say it that way, you're probably nodding your head going, oh, yeah, he did. So I was kind of a little surprised that when I was reading the crossovers, Percy or Annabeth weren't like, oh, what's hosting? And they were just like, oh, well, hosting's this. And they're like, oh, Luke. I'm surprised no one was like that. I'm seriously surprised that they weren't like, Luke. I really am surprised. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. I was so totally expecting it, but it's seriously it. But this book has a little bit of everything. And it also has the great fighting and the awesome storytelling, and it's a little confusing, but it makes sense because it's in a labyrinth. And we also had the return of Rachel. Now, I know I did not mention Rachel when we were talking about the Titan's Curse, but like I said, it's always hard for me to remember that storyline because it is my least favorite book, and I do see it as a little bit of the forgettable book. But this book, when it brings Rachel back, it makes sense. And at first I was like, wait, who's because they remind you of it real fast, and you're like, oh, this is going to be funny. Having those vampire girls come out right away and be a continual antagonist throughout the entire thing, I love that. I don't, before it was always just, oh, kill the monster, and now it's done, it's over with. But with this one, it was kind of upping the stakes where you're like, is she dead? Is she alive? You don't really know and you're unsure. So that was awesome. I loved it. Tyson coming back. Oh, I love Tyson so much. That scene with Pan, I loved it so much. Like, he was so sweet. He was so kind, and then he died. But that scene also showed a lot about Nico's character. And, like, I've mentioned this before, Nico, I think, is beautifully written. That's like one of the characters I love reading him because he's so complex and deep. Like, even more than Percy Jackson himself, and his name is on the title. His name's in the title. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. But it's really, like, Nico, who's probably the most complex character because of just who he is and how Pan didn't acknowledge him. I didn't even know Pan didn't acknowledge him in that. And then just right over my head, and I felt bad that I didn't realize that either. And then seeing Nico deal with the dead, oh, that was so cool and awesome all at the same time. Like, seriously. that was amazing, seeing like how he was just like Ghost King scene, okay? You cannot deny. No, I don't care if you don't like Nico, if you like Nico, if you love him, if you still have a crush on him even though he loves Percy. Well, now he loves Will. But I don't care, because you cannot deny that him getting out of those chains, taking his sword, stabbing in the ground, sucking Minos down, a little like a certain Egyptian god did when Sadie almost got hit with a knife, and then calling himself the Ghost King. You cannot deny that that was awesome. And just like, I love that scene. Like, I want to put, I told you I'm an intermediate studies major. I want to put that scene to film. And I will do it right, but I want to put that scene to film because, oh, that could be such an amazing, awesome scene if they did it right. I want it to be put to film. I want it to, so bad. And that you had all those ghost scenes, that was amazing. Resolving that conflict with Bianca, but also not solving that conflict. Having Nico be that deep and complex at, what, 12 or 13? And then that ending cliffhanger, okay, this is like the beginning of the ending cliffhangers. With, you know, Nico being like, I know how to defeat Cronus, and you're like, well, what is it? And then it's like, till next time! And you're like, but why? And with Poseidon coming to talk to Percy, okay, Paul meeting Poseidon, you can't deny that you don't love that scene. That scene was amazing. The overall plot, I gotta talk about the overall plot. The overall plot of Percy, Annabeth, Tyson, and Grover, which is for breaking the rules of a quest going down into the Labyrinth to try to sort of stop them and find that string, was, I like it. It made sense. It was Cronus's way of going down the list, because, you know, what do? Well, of course, you need to make sure you get, the demigods out of the way first. Like, that makes sense. If you want to take over the world, you should cut down to what you have to do and what you shouldn't have to do. Make your job easier when the time comes for you to take over the world. And doing that with Luke, the whole Egyptian thing, I did not see that coming. And honestly, I didn't think about that until, I believe, I kind of read it in a fan fiction that, you know, they were just like, wait, like hosting, like with Cronus and Luke. I was like, oh my god, I never thought of that. Oh wow, I never did think of that. That blew my mind. Again, I'm imagining, like, when Percy went to the Romans and they were just like, oh yeah, that thing collapsed, like, a year before, I was like, oh, that was Nico. Great job, Nico. Nico's powers are awesome, by the way. I love Percy just continues to have his powers develop. Annabeth got, like, a starring role where we went back to what we had in the Sea of Monsters, where we found out about her pride, and then that pride manifested itself in this book. The different challenges that they had to face, the different, like, you know, just little problems that would probably cause problems later on coming up. Them meeting Hephaestus, that was, like, I love that part. That was so awesome and cool, and really did also show the problem on a different level of how, you know, gods ignore their kids and that kind of thing. Even, like, godly kids they sometimes ignore. Especially if you ever read anything but for mythology, there are so many godly kids. Like, I can barely remember 12 to 14. Barely. I miss a few occasionally. So, remembering the rest, no way is that gonna happen. All the, like, the different minor ones, sorry, you got, like, minor gods, but it's just too many. Occasionally I'll remember the name, but not, like, you know, off the top of my head I can think of them. And this book addresses that in different lights, and I love this book because this is my #1 favorite book out of the series. It has everything I wanted. It kept the story going, it kept the story interesting, it developed the characters, every character, so much. It gave them a purpose, it gave them a reason. Grover actually getting in trouble for saying that Pan died, it made me angry, but it also had this, like, sort of sense of peace about it because of what you saw and how it's sad that they're still in denial about it. And okay, I can go on about this book forever. Overall, the plot is very simple. Find the string. That twist at the end with Douglas and the prophecy. I haven't even talked about the prophecies, but we're going to talk about the prophecies in a different episode. I'll go through them. The prophecies were written beautifully. Nico's character, I love his development. He had drastic development in this one. Percy, that turmoil he's going through with feeling responsible for Nico and feeling that he needs to get through this stuff. Love that one. And I love just this whole book. I love the different scenarios they have to go through. I love how they address everything and everyone, even Rachel. Even Rachel, like, you address, like, how Rachel is and the struggles that she goes through as even just a mortal being able to see through the mist. Something that simple. That this is how you continue a series. And this is how you build it up. Okay? So obviously, the last one is my third favorite. This is my first favorite. It has everything that you could ever want. Laughs, fight scenes, tear jerkers, cliffhangers. It begins the Rick Riordan cliffhangers. You love them and you hate them. You really do. So that is the Battle of the Labyrinth. And next time is going to be The Last Olympian for our last book review. Or is it the last book review? There's a little cliffhanger for you. So thanks for watching. Bye!